The time is here. These aren't rumours, they're not leaks, and they're not what some fucking idiot is saying on TikTok. Although I'm an idiot talking on YouTube. Well, hey, this isn't about me, this is about Epstein, our favourite paedophile. Can you have a favourite paedophile? I guess we do. Not in the sense of we love paedophiles. We just love knowing that he's been exposed every day as the paedophile we all know he truly is. These are official US Department of Justice files published on the justice.gov in 2026 related to Jeffrey Epstein. Lads, we've got names, dates, times, flight logs, court transcripts, and somehow nobody's been arrested. So you know how we do it around here, lads, we don't sugarcoat shit. I'm going to be walking you through what's actually in the public record and why the silence is louder than the files themselves. Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire, the sex offender, the fucking pedophile. First charged in 2006 and gave his sweetheart deal in 2008. Arrested again in July 2019 and then found dead in a federal jail cell on August 10th, 2019. And yes, the camera malfunctioned. Conveniently. We know they love to throw the word conspiracy theorists at us, but lads, this isn't a fucking conspiracy. So recently, January 2026, the US Department uploaded millions of pages tied to the Epstein-Maxwell case. This includes FBI interview notes, emails, phone records, flight manifests, search warrant inventories, redacted photos and videos, and many more. These are split into 12 official datasets. This isn't exposing anything. The government is saying, here's what we have. So let's talk about the thing everyone is whispering about, the flight logs. The DOJ included multiple versions of Epstein's private jet records from the 1990s through the early 2000s. And these logs list passenger names, dates, departure and arrival locations, and now important lines, so listen carefully. A name on the flight log is not proof of a crime. Okay? So just because they were on the plane and they went from New York to Epstein Island does not mean that they're a paedophile, apparently. Legally, it is only proof of association. But association is exactly what the public was never meant to see in the first place. So here's where people are getting uncomfortable. The files reference interactions, meetings and contact details involving Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Donald Trump. Before anyone starts screaming in the comments about mentioned equals conviction or reference equals guilty, mentioned technically means nothing, and that's just a grey area no one wants to sit in. One of the most damning things in the files is the timeline gaps, lads. There's periods where complaints were logged, evidence existed and witnesses came forward, but the investigations were stalled. Years passed, Epstein continued to travel, continued socializing, and continued offending, and that's not opinions, that's visible in the dates. If this was a normal offender, the story ends in prison, not on a private island. So the real scandal isn't that Epstein knew powerful people, it's that authorities knew, courts knew, deals were made, time was allowed to be passed, and when Epstein died, the case died with him. Legally speaking, everyone's walking away free. Morally, well, that's a different conversation. If this was a council estate, a transit van, and a Nokia 3310, this would have been wrapped up long before the kettle boiled. But add private jets, political donors, and royal connections, and suddenly everyone's very confused on how the calendar works. So why drop the files in 2026? Well, because transparency laws forced it. Not because someone grew a conscience. This isn't justice, it's controlled disclosure. Just enough information to say, we showed you, not enough to change anything. These files don't tell us who committed crimes. They tell us who the system protected long enough for the consequences to expire. And that's worse. Read the files yourself, question everything, and never confuse public information with public accountability. These people will never see the inside of a jail cell. So all we can do is destroy them in the public eye and never let them forget that we remember. Lads, make sure to leave a comment below, like this video, subscribe for more, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget, we're the street.
Alright, gentlemen, I want you to repeat after me, just how I do it. Ready? Rock da 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 da.